It had been 5 months since the stabbing death of Annalisa Raimondo in Stamford, Connecticut, and now
I was in shock, and I think I dropped the knife. I was holding it down so it doesn't hurt him anymore.
police in nearby Westchester County, New York, were engaged in a bizarre conversation with a woman whose husband had been stabbed. The wife was fuzzy about the details, but the husband told investigators he had been stabbed while the couple was playing some sort of game in their home.
You can blindfold each other, tie each other up, and you have to guess different objects touching your body.
The husband, Paul Christos, who fully recovered, will never forget it.
And what did this game involve?
It was described as a guessing game where a person would be handcuffed and blindfolded, you couldn't see, and you would have to try to guess what the items were.
Now, I'm not passing judgment here.
Right.
But when a game involves a blindfold and handcuffs,
You want to think it's got to be sexual. Right.
you would think.
Yeah, and it's a good point, and I wouldn't be afraid to say if it was sexual, but the truth is it wasn't.
Kind of an odd diversion for two academics. The wife, Sheila Davalu, was a research scientist. Her husband, Paul Christos, was pursuing his doctorate in epidemiology.
I was busy with school. She said she hears this game. She's bored. She just wants to play it. It'll take up a couple hours. She'll be happy, and then I'll go back to my work.
Paul says Sheila went first. She was handcuffed to a chair. Paul put a few items against her face, a camera, a shampoo bottle. She tried to guess what they were. And then it was Paul's turn. Blindfolded, handcuffed, the whole drill.
How long did it take until this game took a very bizarre, painful, and dangerous turn?
I'd say after about 5 or 6 items, I felt a large or a heavy thrust on my chest. Almost felt like a dumbbell dropped on my chest.
And did she say anything to you?
Well, after about I'd say maybe 3 seconds passed, I felt another large thrust on the chest. And then she said, "Oh my God, you're bleeding. I think I hurt you."
There wasn't a lot of blood, and he says the pain wasn't severe, so he wasn't sure what happened.
I saw one wound, but it didn't look deep or anything. I thought maybe she had a seizure and fell on me or did something, but now I had to come back to reality because she's helping me get out of the chair.
Paul said Sheila seemed to panic when he started to bleed, so he took charge, telling her to call an ambulance.
I said, "All right, call 911. She gets on her phone. I hear her pacing around the room. "My husband's been hurt. Please hurry."
In her conversation with Detective Carpentier, Sheila did seem distraught at times.
I love him so much.
Well, tell me, I want to hear what happened.
You
had a great day. You told me you had- Listen to me, Sheila, I don't want you to be embarrassed.
I am embarrassed, and I don't want to talk about this.
It took a while, but Sheila finally admitted to the game. She did cut Paul, but said it was an accident.
I don't understand how you can accidentally slice them.
It wasn't intentional. It was not intentional. The truth is that we were playing, it got out of hand, we was roughhousing, it got out of hand, the knife hit him more than once.
And I kept saying, I just don't understand, Sheila, you have to explain it to me. Well, I don't believe you meant to hurt him. I'm not saying you meant to hurt him, but it could be the difference of...
Sheila insisted she wanted to save Paul's life, but after that 911 call, no ambulance came, and that's when she drove him to the hospital.
I would not have hurt him. If I wanted to hurt him, I would have never come to the hospital.
But it was at the hospital, right there in the parking lot, that the case of the husband, the wife, and the game took an unexpected turn. Police spotted Sheila's cell phone lying on the ground. The one she used to call 911.
I'm thinking I'm going to find 911 on the phone that she had called for help for her husband. We didn't find that call on the cell phone. But we did notice after he was injured that she does call a gentleman by the name of Nelson.
In fact, Detective Carpentier learned rather quickly that while Paul Christos lay bleeding in their apartment, his wife never called 911. The only call she made was to Annalisa Raimondo's boyfriend, Nelson Sessler.
So here's the question. Why would Sheila Davalu, who had just stabbed her husband, call Nelson Sessler? What's the link between those two? And what did it have to do with the murder of Annalisa?
2 stabbings in a short period of time, and they're both connected to Nelson. Something does not make sense.
when obsession continues.